going to use this tutorial to show you how to use the text tool. But one of the things that maybe I wanted to still show you was how I created this Nike logo using the pen tool. And then I will show you the text tool as I write a slogan. All right, so let me take you through that. And I probably should have shown you the Nike logo in the last tutorial, but it's not too late. I can just show it to you now. So using the pen tool, have a starting point, okay, and then try to put your mouse somewhere where you think that arc will be in your check mark. Okay, so maybe something like this. Click and let go, because this line I'm going to actually keep straight. So I'm just going to click and let go. Bring this down, and I'm going to go beyond where I need to here. Oh, yeah, I'll go beyond. I'll curve it just a little bit. And I want to make this curve bigger. So I'm going to take the command button, and make this handle bigger so that the curve coming off there is bigger, and that's too much. Okay, just keep massaging that into place as best as you can. And I mean, this doesn't look great right now, but you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing there. Okay, and remember, I can go back in because I closed this shape. I can just double click inside, and I can still play around with some of the nodes, they're called. Okay, I can play around with it and kind of edit it and make it look nicer. It doesn't look great, but it's not terrible either. Okay, so let's say that is my Nike logo. I don't like how it has kind of this point down here, so I'm gonna just double click and see if I can just fix that a little bit. Okay, press enter. Again, it didn't really do a good job in this bottom corner, but that's okay. Just trying to show you quick. The purpose of this tutorial is really to show you how to type your text. Okay, so that was the pen tool that we learned from the last tutorial. And let's go into drawing some text. So I choose the text tool, and then I click, and you can see by default it types the word text. Just hit the backspace on your keyboard, and you can type out, let's say, a slogan, or maybe you want to type your company name in your logo, or maybe the initials of your company, anything along those lines. Okay, and just double click away from it so that you kind of exit out of the text. So I just double clicked out of it, and now when I click back in, you can see that I can now manipulate a lot of things that have to do with that text. So first off, I can change the size. Okay, of course you're limited to the font styles that are here. Okay, so you can play around with whichever one that you would like, or whichever one that you feel suits your company and your logo best, right? So choose your font style, with care. Definitely think again of the image that you want your company to have. Okay, so if you want something more classic, then maybe writing it out, having a font that writes like this would be good. If you want something kind of more playful, then choose something different. Okay, and you go ahead and just choose whatever you would like there. You can italicize some of the fonts, bold some of the fonts. Not all of them have that option depending on the font that you chose. Okay, you can change the color of the font. Okay, so you can change the color very easily. You can change the border color. Okay, make the border thicker if you need to, but that doesn't look good. All right. You can add a shadow. So if you check off shadow, we can add a bit of a shadow just by clicking those arrows there. And that doesn't look the greatest. Okay, maybe this needs to be a little bit bigger in order to really see the shadow better. Okay. And if you keep going down, you can do an inset shadow as well. You can reduce the opacity, okay, of your, so if you check that off, you can reduce the opacity of your font. And then also here you can rotate your font as well. You don't have to rotate your font here, okay? Like you can actually just do it. If I click away from here and I click on it again, you can see that if I hover my mouse in the corner, I can rotate that as well. Okay. You may not want to rotate it, and that's totally fine. Now, you may, in your logo, you may want to have, so let's say your slogan, Nike slogan is just do it. You may want to have the word just in one font style, and then the word do it maybe in a different font style, so maybe it stands out a little bit more, right? So be creative when you're coming up with your slogan, and drawing it onto your logo, or not your slogan, your whatever you are going to be writing as part of your logo. You do not have to do a slogan, right? So if you just wanted to write your company name or the initials, okay? So for example, here's something I was thinking about. How about if I write, I don't know, let's say my company is, called R&R, rest and relaxation or something like that, right? So if I were to type, let's say an R, okay, and we're going to change the size of that R, make it much bigger. I'm just showing you an example of like a logo. It's just something quick that just popped in my head, right? So you have something like this. Let's say you want another R now. So I'm just going to take this, click, Command C or Control C to copy, paste, Control V on a PC, Command V on a Mac. Okay, line it up, right? Line it up. And then watch one of the options here is automatically this menu will pop up. So maybe you do something like you flip horizontal, and then maybe you have something in the middle. Like let's say you were to draw a square that you rotated to look like a diamond, and you kind of put this in the middle. Just something very, very simple. If you wanted something like that to be your logo, right? Very, very, very simple. But again, use colors, use fonts that you feel represent your company, and don't make it overly complicated. Okay, don't make it, and you do not have to write a slogan. Okay, but I'm only showing you how to use text because you may want to use text somewhere in your logo. Okay, so that's an example of a logo that would be pretty good. It's simple, but if people see that, it will stand out in their head that it's your company's logo, right? That's ultimately what you want. And then of course the colors and the font styles are important to represent your company. Okay. So that is the text tool. If you were to add text to your logo, that's the button right there. Okay, and when you do that, okay, when you do that, and you click back on any text that you have written, okay, you can see that you can manipulate the font style, the size, the background, the border, the shadow, and then the rotation at the very bottom, okay, and also the opacity. And then of course, like once you're done that, right, you would want to most likely group these two R's or group this whole thing together. So just select it all. Sorry, my Nike logo's in the way here. Okay, select those two, right click, and group. And now you can see you can move that together, right? So that, and then if at any point you want to ungroup them because you need to make changes to something, just right click it again and choose ungroup. All right. That concludes this video. I will do one more video on how to just draw a very simple logo. I'll do the Android logo really quickly. It'll take about 5 minutes.